Hello everybody, it's Roku and we're back with some more League of Legends content, and today I've got a brilliant little video for you guys. This video is an informative commentary video, but a bit different because instead of, explaining things real time, I'm going to be explaining things through a voiceover like I'm doing right now, so that, I can explain things with more depth. I'm going to go into detail on, combos or specific things I did, why I did them, so that you guys have a better idea of, what to do in every single scenario. Um, this is a new style of videos that I'm doing, so if you guys actually like it, make sure to, show that you like it by, dropping comments with the algorithm and obviously liking the video. If this video gets 400 likes, I will make another one of these as soon as possible. So yeah, let's just get right into this specific match. I do believe the elo of this match is like around 200-300 LP in Master, so it's pretty high elo. I was up against Mundo, Lee Sin, Yasuo, Ziggs, and Thresh. So this team composition is very, it's not unplayable, but they have a lot of annoying aspects. And one big thing is that there's a lot of things to dodge. There's, Mundo hatchets, there's Lee Sin Q, there's Yasuo Tornado, Ziggs is all skill shots, and also Thresh hooks. So having high move speed and, being in the right position and right mood to dodge is quite big for this game, which is why I went for the sorcery tree. Like, the specific rune page that I chose will be on the screen right now, but basically Conquer, Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, with a secondary page consisting of Nimbus Cloak and Celerity. As for my stats, I went for attack speed AD, which is pretty standard on Darius, and for MR in case I got hit by Mundo cleavers in the lane, because, though Mundo's damage in all-ins is mostly his auto attacks and his E, his cleaver is like the most annoying thing about him, because that's most of his poke. I did go D-Blade as a starting item because I feel quite confident about this matchup, and I'm going for kills. As for my build, I'm going for Triforce because I myself like Triforce more since I like playing as a carry. And after Triforce, I went for Sterix Gauge. I also bought an Executioner's Culling in lane, which I then built into Campunk Chainsword at the end of the game. I also got a Warden's Mail, which did quite a bit. And I also picked up a Spirit Visage at the end of the game. All this information should be on screen so you guys can actually see it, So yeah, let's just get right into the gameplay. Okay, so one thing to pay attention to in this gameplay is my positioning on Darius. So the key to the Mundo matchup is trying to avoid his hatchets. Now, you can kind of dodge it, but the most guaranteed way to avoid his hatchets is actually standing behind your minions. If you can actually look at the gameplay, I basically just CS from behind my minions, and I only walk out once he throws his hatchet. And every time he goes for a CS melee range, I go for a Q, poke him, and then I back off behind my minions again. This is key for this matchup because eating Qs against Mundo is a nice way to get poked up and poked out of lane. And, this way, you're basically losing no HP and just chunking him out until you can kill him in an all-in, okay? So yeah. One big thing to note is that you have to hide behind like 2 or so minions, because when Riot changed the hitbox of Mundo's new hatchet, they made it so that if you hide behind just one small minion, he can kind of bug the hitbox and just throw to the side of it and it will still hit you. So you have to hide behind 2 minions at least, so that you can make sure to dodge it instead of just, him RNGing a hatchet by luck. So yeah, that's just the big thing to keep an eye out when looking at this gameplay. But it's whatever. A true German? I wouldn't say so. Maybe. I don't know. Worst pet peeve? Worst pet peeve? Formalities. There's a lot of formalities that people say that serve no purpose. Like, you go up to, your professor, like, hey, I really love your work. Just get to it and just say what you want. Why Trinity every game now? Because I like it. Alright, so, at this point, I've pushed a wave into the Mundo's turret, and I'm just hanging out in the river to, try to do something. Normally, if this is in your game, you want to put a ward in the Tri-Brush or in the river, But in my case, that was not necessary because, you know, there was a fight happening in the Ball River, so I kind of knew exactly where the enemy team was, so I didn't really need that ward. A thing that a lot of players do is basically just waste their wards when they don't need to ward, and this is a really big mistake because wards are a limited resource. You only get so many of them, so you want to just make sure to check the map and see if, you know, if the position of the jungler is super obvious, then you don't really need to ward, right? Or, you know, you can just save that ward for later. So yeah, what I basically am doing right here is trying to set up a freeze because, as you guys can see, I keep consistently out trading the Mundo, right? It's like he has no health compared to me. He keeps eating Qs because every time he steps up to get CS, I just, bam, hit him with a Q. So yeah, I should have probably not gotten hit by that hatchet, but that's fine. Try to hit the wave to heal it back up a bit. So it's okay to try to freeze at this position because, you know, it's not that close to my turret, so only 2 minions are enough. You can see me try to avoid the Mundo hatchets and then go in for another Q as soon as he walks up to E that minion. A lot of Mundo players love to E minions, so try to like keep our eye out for these nice Qs. Now, a bad thing about trying to get a freeze into Mundo is that, like, he can still kind of just CS with his hatchets, so there's always that to worry about. But, you know, his hatchets are on a 4-second cooldown, whereas your auto attacks, you know, aren't. So even if you hold a nice freeze against Mundo for a while, despite the fact that he'll get some CS, you know, you'll still be able to win out through a CS lead. And the best part about it is that you can actually go for all-ins, like these. If you can see what I did there, which is why, that's why I leveled E on Darius against Mundo. A lot of people think that leveling E versus Mundo is useless, but this all-in showed you why not. Because if you actually look at the gameplay, the second I E'd the Mundo, his brain just turned off and he started running towards his passive, okay? And, you know, that's basically just, I don't know, philosophical terrorism, I guess, against Mundo players, because picking up their passive is everything to them. So, and when you pull the Mundo, his passive doesn't drop far away from you. It drops like near you. So you can use this to basically keep Mundo in the fight longer than he should be in the fight, okay? So yeah, it's all about basically tricking them to stay around you for too long and, you know, too late so that you just kill them, okay? So yeah, E is useful into Mundo if you use it correctly, and if you use it earlier into the fight, then it does do, like, not too much damage, but it does do, like, a decent bit, okay? But you do have to step on it so that he doesn't get the healing back. Anyway, so we use our Ghost Flash to get the kill against the Mundo there. He also uses his Flash and his Teleport, so yeah, I kind of greed out here because I know I can kill him again because I have my full kit. So yeah, I actually just, you know, like, the safe move will be to just go back to base, but I kind of get lucky here and just kill him before he presses W again. So yeah, I would not recommend going for this, you know, kill that I just went for, because it's really greedy and I kind of die anyway to the Lee, which is really not good. But yeah, I guess I was just, you know, I almost killed him, but yeah, I was just too greedy. So yeah, the safe option would be to just go back to base, you know, and then buy our items and go, you know, move back into lane. So yeah, my first buy, like, the first thing I actually got, or I get, is boots, but I also get Executioner's Calling here, because it's a Mundo matchup. So yeah, in terms of first back things to get on Darius, though a lot of other players go different things, I personally have to get attack speed and boots. So yeah, a dagger and boots are must, because with attack speed I can do my combos, with boots I can move around, take fights, chase, whatever, and then I go into my mythic item, and if it's a specific matchup that requires, you know, a counter item, then I buy that counter item. So here I got my boots, attack speed, sheen, and my Executioner's Calling. I also got some HP because, you know, because I might be tanking some hatchets, you really need to have the HP to do so, because Mundo's hatchets hurt a lot. You know, they do like 200-300 damage per hatchet, and you get hit by 2 of those, and, you know, you're basically just half health. So yeah, you do not want to mess around with Mundo hatchets, so avoid them, or at least, you know, have some health so you can kind of tank it. So yeah, I'm not actually walking up any more aggressively. I'm just standing behind my minions as usual, okay? Like, this is one of, like, the biggest reasons why a lot of Darius players hate the Mundo matchup, because they kind of just, you know, walk too far up, get hit by hatchets, and then they're just dead, okay? And here, you know, there's not much I could do here because I did get 3-manned. Maybe with better macro, I could have told that they were coming. But yeah, I got not much I can do, but this is a 3-man. But yeah, so a lot of Darius players hate the Mundo matchup because they're impatient, they get hit by too many hatchets, and then they're kind of low HP, so Mundo just beats them in an all-in. But if you play it patiently, and, you know, wait for him to make the mistake, you can really just, you know, out-trade him, and then, you know, kill him eventually in an all-in. So yeah, make it so that it's to him to make the mistake, not for you to make the mistake of walking up too far for CS. Or, I mean, honestly, you don't even get CS from walking up in a lot of cases, so yeah. Kaiser. Jungle Gap, yeah. Let's just hope we can bring it back before they take over. You're actually so shit. So what happened there was pretty simple. The Mundo overstayed for some CS, I pressed Ghost, ran up to him, and killed him. This occasionally happens in high elos, so I can only imagine that it happens all the time in lower elos, where your enemy kills you, and then, you know, you go back to base, you come back, and if you have Ghost or Summoner spells, you can catch them and kill them while they're trying to take plates or CS. So yeah, keep an eye out for free kills like these. I got the kill on Mundo and then I shoved my lane, but I unfortunately was too greedy for plates. So yeah, the Lee Sin caught up to me and killed me. Because, you know, imagine having fun as a top laner while getting camped. But yeah, honestly that was on me. I should have just gone back and known that the Lee Sin was there. But yeah, anyway, let's just go on to the next commentatable moment, I guess. He's just dead, man. Ugh. Whatever. So, here was just quite simple. I saw that my jungler was in trouble, so I moved in to try to help him. It was kind of like a sketchy fight because my jungler did take like a 1v3 kind of situation because the Yasuo was there, the Lee was there. So normally when it's that bad, you don't want to go for these, but because we had more backup on the way, it was more safe for us to, you know, go for that. So I went in, I killed the Yasuo, and then I went out. If you actually watched how I kited around the Gromp, it was just trying to avoid the Lee Sin's damage because that champion's kind of overpowered right now. So yeah, I avoided his damage, Karma came in, and the Lee Sin just left. So I don't think I could have played that fight even more perfectly, but yeah, I played it pretty well. So yeah, let's go to the next moment. We decided it, guys. We found the answer. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Okay. Whatever. He's actually going for it. This is such a shit idea. I do not have R. Okay. Whatever. I don't have time for stupid ideas. As some of you guys could tell from my reactions to this play, I was initially skeptical about it, but we stuck to it. And the enemy, our teammates kind of held the enemy off long enough for us to finish the Drake and then go for the kills. So yeah, I shoved my lane, went mid, killed the Yasuo, then we took the dragon, and yeah, after that, you know, this happens a lot, especially in lower elos, where when an objective is lost, or like a turret, a dragon, or a baron, people will just send champions to, you know, fight for the objective, even though it's 100% lost. And this is like one of those times where you're going to get a lot of kills on Darius because, you know, the team's disorganized. They're kind of, it's like a panic play. So you just ghost up and kill everyone, kind of like how I did there where, you know, we killed the Yasuo. Then I went and wiped out their bot lane. And yeah, just went back top after that because we got our kills. No need to, you know, overstay and, you know, greed for other kills and stuff. And yeah, I'm back in lane. And if you kind of notice, Ziggs is somehow here. And as much as I'd like to stay here and defend, it's not that possible for me to, you know, defend against the Ziggs here. And I only stayed because the Graves was coming, so we could kind of just kill him 2v2. But if you're in this situation where, like, you know, there's a ranged champion and you can't really fight them, they have peel from a support or, you know, in this case the enemy top laner, and you're not getting any help, it's better to just back off and give up the turret, okay? So if the Graves was not coming there, I would just back off and give up the turret. And yeah, this kind of ties back to, you know, staying or sacrificing your champions' lives for gone objectives, because when the enemy sends that much people there, that turret is gone, okay? And trying to stand and defend it is going to get you killed. So the best case scenario is just back off, let them take the turret, and then take the CS. So yeah, okay? So yeah, just don't go for lost objectives. And also, if the enemy is going for lost objectives, that's, you know, gaming time. So yeah.
Graves, yeah, dude. Only thinks he's Tarzan. But he's more of a gorilla.
Here is actually a mistake from me. So, I see this fight happening in the jungle, and the right play usually when these kinds of things happen is to go and help out. But I basically couldn't read what my team was going for, which led to me kind of griefing the fight. So obviously if I actually landed my pull on the Lee Sin, things could have ended a bit differently, but I kind of just gambled my chance of winning this fight on the enemy team screwing up, okay? If you actually paid attention to the replay, my team kind of like, you know, they kind of took a bad fight and they were just backing off, and then I flanked the enemy and went for this fight, 1v5, even though my team was not ready to support me in this play at all, you know? When you're trying to play ganking champions or you're trying to, you know, help out or flank or whatever, one big thing to understand is not just the position of the enemy team or how it can get your reset, all that stuff, but also the position of your own team, so that you can actually make plays that your teammates can follow up on, instead of just, you know, going in, you die 1v5, and, you know, you're, hey, where was my team? You know, that's kind of your fault. Well, in this case, it's my fault, where, you know, if I kept an eye on how my team was, you know, playing that fight, I could have just, you know, backed off or, you know, gone for, you know, a pick when the enemy team was more disorganized, where here I just kind of ran straight into the middle of the team and kind of flanked myself. But yeah, eventually we respawned and then killed the Lee Sin in this mistake that he made. But still, going for fights that your team is only, you know, ready to help you in is a big thing when you're trying to play champions who work well with teams and all that stuff.
Jesus. Can we even do this? Eat cooked animal hearts. I've had a lot of animal hearts, and depending on the animal, it's quite delicious. The most common one is chicken, but I also had other.
So what we did here was pretty standard. We used the momentum we gained from those kills. We went for the mid turret, and then we went for the dragon, okay? So we're not just A-ramming for no reason, you know, just fighting for no reason permanently. We take the kills, we use the momentum to go for objectives, then more objectives, and then we back off. This is kind of the rhythm you want to go for when you're ahead. Because, like, if you're constantly fighting, like, when you're ahead, you win fights on default, okay? But you have to make sure that you take fights where you get things after winning them, okay? So you take fights around Baron, you force fights around Dragon. If you just force fights all the way around in the map, then you're not going to be able to capitalize on those kills. You're not going to be able to get, you know, objectives from those kills, which is a waste of time because just kills don't end the game. Turret kills end the game, Dragon Soul ends the game, Baron ends the game, but just kills don't do anything. Objectives are important, and kills are a means of, getting to these objectives, okay? So always keep sight of what's important instead of just wandering around for kills. I see this in loyal players a lot because basically they lane for 10 minutes and then they just start ARAMing for no reason, okay? So yeah, take your kills, then look for objectives like we just did right here. And yeah, here, as you can see, we're kind of preparing for Baron eventually.
Such a sketch position. Like no plan or anything. Like we gotta wait for them to engage and shit. We can't do it on our own.
So the principle of getting kills on our objectives and going for the objectives applies here as well. We kind of messed around top lane, we actually went for a failed fight in the top lane, and the Aphelios was kind of caught mid lane, so we moved mid. We went for a kill on the Yasuo who overextended for the Aphelios, and we could have done Baron off of that, but if you guys actually noticed, the Graves was actually caught as well. So, if we just got that one kill, we could do Baron off of it, but because our jungler died as well, we couldn't really go for any objectives. And yeah, we just had this really just super sketchy fight that, it ended up in us exchanging even kills with the enemy team. Now, this is an okay thing to do if you're behind. Okay, going even in kills is okay when you're behind, but when you're ahead like we were, it's a very bad idea because the enemy team wants to earn as much as you, but you want to earn more than the enemy to make your lead bigger and bigger and bigger and then just win the game, okay? So yeah, this did not really help us that much, and honestly us, throwing kills there basically put them in a better position because their jungler was on the map, whereas ours was not, meaning that they could take all the camps and stuff that were on the map. But fortunately, they can't really do Baron, even if 2-3 members of our team are alive, because I'm so strong, Aphelios is so strong that we can kind of wipe out half the team on our own. And yeah, since they can't do Baron, we get into the similar position again. We're looking for picks, and then if you kind of notice, once minute 20 is over with, it's all just looking for plays around Baron and then turning that into a Baron objective kill so that we can just do Baron and then end the game quickly. This is how high elo players just end games ASAP, okay? We mess around, we make our leads in the laning phase, ganks, all that stuff, and then the second 20-minute Baron spawns, we go to Baron, we go look for fights, we look for split push, whatever. Just all is basically, every single macro plan is based around Baron, okay? Because Baron is the fastest way to end games. And the enemy team tried to cheese Baron over here, and yeah, this did not sit well with us, so we decided to kill the enemy team. I execute the Yasuo here, I fight the Lee Sin, I almost kill him, but, I did a lot for that fight, but, then, because I was kind of tanking Mundo, Yasuo, and Lee Sin just by myself, Graves kind of just griefed it there, but yeah, I was basically fighting the strongest enemy team members by myself, which basically let my team have the time to actually go for these, other kills and just clean the fight up, theoretically, right? They didn't actually do that much, but, I basically did my job for that fight, and yeah, my team should be good from this moment on. So, another mistake from my part in this specific instance, basically, my jungler was going for a pick here, and I decided to follow him so that he's not alone, so he doesn't die. But this basically ends up in disaster as Graves ease into the Lee Sin, which is really a stupid idea. I tried to go and save him, but yeah, I should just kind of let him die, but it's too late. And yeah, the Graves kind of cost us the Baron here. And all the stuff I said about how high low players play around Baron also applies to the enemy team. The enemy team got a kill on me and the Graves, and then they go for the Baron. And yeah, mistake from me, and this actually brings up another point. A lot of mistakes, another series of mistakes that people make is if your teammates are about to die, then sometimes it's better to just let them die instead of, sacrificing your life to try to save theirs. Like, even though most of the time you're both gonna die, like, this mentality is more common in NA, in my experience, where people just try to save their teammates so often, even though, for my NA coaching students, even though, that guy's just dead, and you're better off just letting him die and, saving yourself in a way. So yeah, that was a big mistake, and now the enemy has Baron, and we are going to be awaiting a push from the enemy team. So when it comes to team fights, the main targets for me are the Yasuo and the Ziggs. They're kind of squishy enough to one-shot with one combo, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, we're just here defending. Katarina goes in to try to one-shot the Ziggs and fails, but, this is good because this opens up the fight for me to just crack it open and win. So I walk up, Yasuo is in my melee range, so I pull him, do my combo on him, try to one-shot him. Bam, he's gone. Flash R Ziggs, he's dead. I leave the Mundo because, my team can't take care of them. I kill a Thresh, and then the Thresh lanters a Lee Sin into my melee range. And normally the Lee Sin would get away, but I have this Karma player who basically knows what she's doing, so she just buffs up my move speed, and I still have that ghost from wiping out their whole team. So yeah, we just end up chasing this Lee Sin until, I don't know, the end of time, I guess, where, I missed that E, but eventually we do catch him and kill him, which is really, really good for our team, where, they got the Baron, that was their winning chance, but we're still the stronger team, right? I'm still way stronger than a lot of them. Aphelios can still kind of do damage, but I feel like that fight was mostly Katarina making a play, and she tanked everything for me, which I know Katarina isn't like a champion that tries that, like, she's not a champion made to tank things, she's a champion made to kill things, but her doing so actually gave me the opportunity to just, find a target and break the team fight open and just make it far easier for my team to just pick up the pieces. So yeah, that's a textbook team fight because we went for our prime squishy targets. We kept our eyes on the targets that we should have killed, hence, the Yasuo, the Ziggs, and we basically just, went for the other targets once the prime targets were dead. What I see a lot in team fights in lower elos, for Darius players of course, is they go for targets where it's kind of meaningless to actually try to kill them, right? Like, they're fighting a 1v1 against the enemy top laner, they're stacking them, they're fighting them, and then the enemy ADC starts attacking the Darius. And a lot of the times what the Darius is going to do is just keep fighting that, person that we're already fighting, even though they can just, turn on the ADC and just kill them instantly, okay? A lot of people don't pay attention to their surroundings in teamfights, which leads to them, like, not being aware of the main targets. So what you gotta do is, before the fight starts, keep your mind on your main targets. Okay, I have to kill the enemy ADC, the enemy mid laner, maybe the jungler if they're squishy, A, B, C, all the targets are set, and then once the fight starts, you do still do the main things of, like, I gotta get my passive stacks, gotta get my ult execute, but, if you have the opportunity to go for one of these targets, you just instantly switch gears, kind of like how I do in some of the team fights in my games. So, yeah, that's how you kind of play out team fights, and in this game is an example of a very good team fight, where we kind of just cracked it open with the help of our teammates. So, yeah, this is the last fight of the game where I keep my Lee Sin occupied and then, focus the Ziggs so that he can't attack my own teammates. I didn't do that much in this fight solo. Well, I did, contribute, but I just didn't carry like the other fights. But, yeah, this is the last fight of the game. We're just so fed that we can just run over the enemy team wherever we want. And then, after we win the fight, we go end the game. That is pretty much it for this video, guys. I am trying a new style of, videos, so I hope you guys like it. And if you guys do like it, let me know in the comments section, and, let me know by liking the video. Remember, 400 likes and I make more of these. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you guys want to see some of these games happen live, be sure to check out my Twitch, the link's in the description. I play League and some variety, and yeah, I'll see you there. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.